Hey guys, for today's video, I'll be putting together a 33mm quartz watch. I guess if you like small watches or have a smaller wrist, this could work for you. I'll be using a Miyota 2035 quartz movement with my own custom movement holder. So let's start off with the parts list. This is a 33mm watch case. It is stainless steel with mineral glass on both sides, in the back and the front. So it's an open case back so you can see the inside of the movement, which is pretty cool. Even though there are no mechanical movement inside, it's still kind of nice to be able to see inside. I bought it with a stainless steel bracelet, and it also comes in gold if you're interested as well. For the dial, it is a 29mm dial. I think a 28.5 would also work. It does come with dial feet, but as you can see, I've already snipped them off because we're going to put them onto the movement with double-sided tape. And this is the movement. This is the Miyota 2035, not to be confused with the 2305. This is a very simple movement. The battery life is about 4 years. As you can see, it has no date wheel, so it's an extremely small movement and great for smaller watches. To keep everything together, we need a movement holder or casing ring. For this build, I designed and created my own from scratch. I sketched it out in CAD software using the data specs from Miyota. Then I exported it to an STL and printed it with PETG filament. I'll leave a link to my STL design via Thingiverse in the description if you want to print your own for personal use. This movement holder should fit in many other cases other than this one, but I tried to make them more generic. It just snaps onto the movement here, as you can see, and it is very snug, so it's not going to go anywhere, and should fit most watch cases as long as they were originally designed for the NH series of mechanical movements. I'm going to just quickly show you by putting it into this watch case here. This watch case is extremely small, but it's pretty much just all dial. There's no bezel or anything. And we're going to stick it in here and show you what it looks like. It's a pretty snug fit. You may need to trim the movement holder a little bit to fit in your case. I've designed it so the tabs are a little bit taller, so you may need to sand or trim it a bit, but it should fit most watch cases. And for the hands, we'll need one specifically for quartz movements. The ones for the NH mechanical watches will not fit because the holes are too big. And you want to have the hands that have like longer sleeves because the 2035, the pinions where the hands sit on, it's a little low. So if you use a dial like the one I'm using in this video, the hands may interfere with the hour indices. So you need to be able to lift the hands a little bit up to clear the height of the indices. So to hold the dial to the movement, we're going to use some double-sided tape. You've probably seen me use this in previous videos. They're just pre-cut into little squares so that you can quickly use them. If you don't have any of this, you can just cut your own, but it's nice to have a sheet already done. And what you need to do is put it in a place where it won't get in the way of anything. So the movement's pretty small, so there's not a whole lot of area for you to apply them. 3 or 4 of these should be enough to hold the dial in place because the casing ring or the movement holder will be doing most of the work. It'll be the one sandwiching the movement and the dial into the case with the case back, pushing everything down. So it's nice to have a little bit of tape. Here I'm just going to take the crown and then attach it to the crown stem here. We'll need the crown stem to help you align the dial with when you're sticking it on the movement. So that's why I'm doing this now. We're not going to cut it yet. Insert the crown stem into the movement, and then we can use it as a guide. So make sure that you can pull it in and out. Seems to work fine. Okay, here's the dial. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the stem line up with 3 o'clock. So it's very easy for this dial because there are actually minute markers on around the dial, and also it's at the 3 o'clock, so you really can't screw this up. Just make sure that the pinions go right through the center of the dial. Remove the backing for the double-sided tape, and then get your dial here and just carefully stick it onto the movement. Now, because you're using double-sided tape, it's not super glued on, so you still have, the ability to, move it and adjust it, so it's not locked in there. Try to get it in there as, close as possible to, where you want it. So it should look something like that. And like I said, the movement holder will be doing most of the work. It'll be the one that's pushing everything into the case, so and keeping everything from moving around while you're wearing the watch. Now it's time to test fit everything. I'm just going to put the dial with the movement, and then we're going to insert the crown. We just want to double check that the dial is aligned. We're also going to put in the movement holder, and it should just snap in. So with the dial installed and the movement holder is going to be a little bit too high, and I probably won't be able to close the case back now. And that's normal because I made the tabs at the top here a little bit taller than necessary. So all I have to do is trim some of that, and it should close up. I would imagine I need to trim about a millimeter or so not much. So I think the dial alignment looks pretty good. So we're gonna go to the next step. So the first hand we're gonna install is the hour hand. I'm gonna use this manual hand pusher to help me get the hour hand on. Because of the sleeves, it's harder to get it started. So I just kind of use that manual tool first to kind of get it in there most of the way. And I'm going to clean it up with some putty here. There's some smear marks on the hand itself. And then I'm going to finish it off by pushing it down with this little apparatus. And I'm going to make sure it's level and then straight. And that looks pretty good. And we're going to turn the hour hand to the 12 o'clock position. And then what we're going to do is mount the minute hand. Because there is no date, we don't have to worry about, rolling it over to midnight. So we just have to put it at the 12 o'clock, and then we can do the minute hand. The minute hand's going to be incrementally harder because it's a smaller hole that you have to put it on, but still not too difficult. I'm still using some putty, and I'm going to enlist the help of this little toothpick here. I'm going to move it back into the frame, and then basically the toothpick will help me kind of slowly adjust the minute hand to make sure that it's right at 12 o'clock. And then we're going to use this apparatus to push it down. Once again, we're going to test it and make sure that it clears the hour indices. That's why I said it's very important to make sure you get those hands that have the sleeves, because it's able to lift a little bit higher above the dial and then not collide with these indices. Because the 2035, the posts for the hands are actually very low. So make sure you do get the right hands for that. And it looks pretty good. I'm just gonna get a little bit of putty here just to dab off some smears and marks on there. It's not a bad idea to go over your dial with some putty just to make sure you get all the, dust and particles. Because once you get it cased up and then you notice a dust particle, it's going to bother you forever, and you'll probably want to take it apart and clean it. So just avoid all that and just do it properly to begin with. Now it's time to do the second hand. Again, same technique. We're going to use a little putty to hold it and the toothpick to kind of guide it. And I'll push it up so you could see because it kind of went off camera there for a bit. And this one is a little bit harder because, the second hand has that longer sleeve that has to go, into the pinion. But hopefully it's going to be easy. It's really hard for me to do this because the camera is right in front of me here, but luckily it went right in. So usually that doesn't happen. Usually I fumble around for a good 15 minutes, but for this video it worked out. And we're going to put it into the apparatus there, and we're just going to lightly tap it down. You don't need to put a lot of force because these are very small and intricate little parts, so just a little nudge should do it. And check to make sure it's level, and just push it in, and there it is. It sprung to life. Nothing more satisfying than seeing the second hand move. It's ticking away, and I think I got lucky in that I mounted the second hand perfectly because it's hitting all the second markers. If your dial has markers around the edges, um, and you notice that the second hands are kind of a little bit off from the second markers, then what you can do is you could take the second hand off again and then try to mount it, and hopefully the second time around it will kind of hit all the markers. So before we start to case everything, I like to use the blower just to blow off any dust or particles, and the case as well. You don't want anything inside that it's going to bother you after you case everything. So I usually do it a few times. And now we're going to fit the movement and dial and all the hands that you just installed into the case. Now it's time to thread the crown stem into the case and into the movement. We're probably going to cut the crown stem in a little bit, but first we want to make sure everything fits and that we can pull the stem in and out and that the watch is working. Now it's time to put on the case back. And like I said previously, it probably won't close now because the tabs are a little tall now. So make sure you can push most of the movement holder down first. So there is a bit, it's not in all the way. So I'm just kind of pushing that in there and making sure that it is all the way it can go. And if it's still not closing up, we're going to have to do some trimming. Not a big deal because I made them longer, the tabs longer on purpose so that it can fit a variety of different cases. And if you find that, when you put it into your case and it's not closing, well, you're going to have to do some trimming. I got some side cutters here and I'm just going to trim a little bit. You can see right there, it's not even a millimeter, it's like half a millimeter because I just want to do a little bit at a time and then see if I can close it. Still seems to be a little bit too tight and it doesn't seem like it's going all the way in. So I'm going to probably have to trim a little bit more. So I'm going to open it up and I am going to see that if I can cut another half a millimeter here. So there are 3 tabs to this movement holder. So I'm just going to trim that. And does it actually do anything? A little better. But I think I need to trim the tabs off of the other 2 to make it even. So again, we're just going to trim some up there. And you can see how much that is. It's like half a millimeter. It's not even a millimeter. And we're going to trim the other tab. And with those tabs trimmed, let's see. Oh yeah, it definitely fits a lot better. And now you can close it up. Obviously, the crown stem is a little too long, so we're going to measure how much we need to cut off. So measure it from the base of the crown to the opening of the case. And this looks like it's about 2 millimeters. Always, measure it 2, 3 times just to make sure before you cut it. I like to use a little Ziploc bag to cut my stem. I put it in there and then I use these nippers and I just trim it. This way the pieces don't fly everywhere. There aren't a lot of guides for smaller watches, so hopefully this will give you some ideas for your next build. So here's the watch fully complete with the 16 millimeter stainless steel bracelet. It is actually quite small. Smallest watch I would probably wear would be like a 38, but most of my watches are 40 mil. This is a watch obviously more suited for someone with a smaller wrist, probably someone like my wife who I'm building this for. Building a watch for someone and giving it that personal touch yields a timepiece that has more meaning than money. I don't think it's too difficult. I mean, if someone like me, who is all thumbs, can put together a watch, so can you. Just be patient and take your time. Anyways, happy holidays, and I'll hear from you in the next video.